Hi guys, my name is Courtney and I'm here to share with you today my testimony. Warning, I am going to talk about Jesus and God and Christianity, so if that offends you, this is what this video is about. This is very hard for me to talk about as I'm going to have to reflect on a time in my life when I went way away from God when I was in high school, so please bear with me. I became a Christian when I was 8 years old. I asked Jesus into my life and knew He died for my sins, knew I could only be saved through the grace of God, and that He rose again after He died on the cross, and that He died for me. And I took that and ran with it. However, when I was in high school, it was the summer of 2001, I became addicted to exercise, is the best way to say it, if you want to call it a term. I had an eating disorder. Some people label it as exercise bulimia. I basically exercised as much as I could and ate as little as I could at the same time. Exercise was an outlet for me as far as what I was going through on the inside, and also which was in the sense that I was trying to be perfect in everything that I did, and that I put my performance and pleasing others above anything else. A lot of women struggle with body image, so I know this is a big issue, and that's why I wanted to share where I came from. I struggled with my addiction to exercise for about 2.5 years. I really hurt my family in the process, and that really hurts me to say that. If you know me, or you know my family, we are doers and we are fixers of problems, and my parents couldn't fix it. I was sent to nutritionists, counselors, different experts. I had to do weekly weigh-ins, and I had to write down everything that I ate. I became a liar. I became a shell of my former self as I let that addiction rule my thoughts. And even though I went to church still and I was involved in Bible studies, I was not honest with God at that point in my life, because I was letting my addiction rule me. And whether that's exercise or something else, it does that to people. While my parents were trying to get me to see that I had a problem, I became more stubborn and hardened, and thought, no, you have the problem. I'm disciplined. I'm in self-control. I have the self-control that you don't have, and you don't know what you're talking about. And I began to learn the things to say to the people that they sent me to, so I would be done with it. I'm very ashamed of myself and in that part of my life. I went down in a downward spiral as far as my weight, and there were threats of I couldn't go to the college of my choice if I didn't straighten up. I would do lots of things that I'm ashamed to talk about today, in the sense that I would sneak in exercise at school. I would lie about how much I ate that day. I would, I just really became consumed by it. Anyway, so my family didn't know what to do. I wasn't getting better. I was learning how to cheat the system. I would binge eat before my weigh-ins, just so I would not be as low of a weight as what I really was, and it was just not a pleasant time in my life. So my mom just cried out to God one day and said, I don't know what to do, I don't know how to help her, and she got a phone call right then. And people at church knew my family's struggles at the time with me, and there was an intern at church that wanted to meet me. She was a college student from West Tennessee, and my mom said I had to meet her. Well, my reaction again was, here we go, here's another thing, I don't want to do this. So I went and met Angie at Panera for the first time. And she brought with her this book, The Search for Significance by Robert S. McGee. And I can't really explain it to you. But at that first meeting, something happened. It was supernatural. I know it was from God, but I finally realized that I had a problem and that I needed to do something about it. So, anyway, I started my path to recovery, and the book Search for Significance made a huge impact on me, because the premise of the book is that Christians and non-Christians, we tend to place our self-worth in things other than Jesus Christ. And as Christians, we're supposed to place our identity in Christ. We are a creation of Christ, and He loved us so much that He died for us. And when we become in a relationship with Him, we're to strive to be like Him, and then we are to find our self-worth in Him instead of in other things. And I was finding my self-worth in my performance and pleasing others and being a perfectionist and not in Him. So I want to share this verse with you. 2 verses actually. One's from Job 33:4. The Spirit of God has made me, the breath of the Almighty gives me life. So we are a creation in God as Christians. And the next verse is 2 Corinthians 3:18. And we who with unveiled faces all reflect the Lord's glory are being transformed into His likeness with ever increasing glory, which comes from the Lord who is the Spirit. So as Christians and as creations in Christ, we're supposed to be transformed through Christ. And through the grace of God, I recovered. And He saved me when I was 8 years old, and then He picked me up again when I had fallen off the path, and by His grace, I became healthy and was able to go to the college of my choice and do something with my life and fulfill my dreams of becoming an attorney. And I danced on the dance team in college, and I had no issues with my body image there. I was surrounded by some good people, and I'm really, really, really grateful for that. And anyway, as some of you know, I became a fitness coach recently, and part of the reason why I did that is because I love Beachbody and I love the team that I'm on, in that they encourage people to be healthy, but in moderation, in a healthy, you can work out and care about nutrition, but do so in a healthy way and in a way that adds to your life and doesn't become your life. I also decided to teach fitness classes in late college and law school because I wanted to help people that were in the same position as me. And I will say that God has used me in some ways because of what I went through and because of my sin. And I wanted to share with you this quote that's from The Search for Significance. For any of you that have had past addictions or feel like you're a failure or have turned from God or want to come back to God because He's there, your Father is waiting with open arms. And this is from Robert S. McGee, and it says, we have a choice in our response to failure. We can condemn or we can learn. All of us fail, but this doesn't mean that we are failures. We need to understand that failing can be a step toward maturity, not a permanent blot on our self-esteem. We don't have to allow failure to prevent us from being used by God. And failure works in two ways. One, for a long time, I felt, and sometimes I still do, that I was a failure by succumbing to this eating disorder and body image pressure. on the other hand, the reason why I actually used exercise as an outlet was because I felt like a failure in other areas of my life. And instead of turning to God and dealing with it, I did what the world does, and I found another outlet for it. And that outlet could be many things. So I just wanted to share with you my story, and I wanted to share with you that Jesus is there, and there is hope, and He is willing to accept you with open arms, whatever your circumstance. I would love to talk to you about any kind of body image issue, addiction issue, even though it's maybe different than mine, or any kind of questions that you have regarding body image and self-esteem and self-worth in Jesus. So thank you for listening.